brothers and sisters in Christ, I want to share a story that has been circulating lately. A story of an Uber driver named Marcus and a passenger named Mr. Patterson. One evening, Marcus picked up an elderly man at 11 p.m. who handed him 5 addresses and said, "Drive me to these places. Don't ask me why until we are done." The first stop, a house in the suburbs. The old man sat in the car, staring at the house and crying silently. "This is where I grew up," he said. "Okay, let us go to the next stop." Second stop, an empty elementary school. He got out, walked to the playground, and sat on the swing for 20 minutes. "I taught here 43 years. Best job I ever had." Third stop, a diner. He went in, ordered a cup of coffee, but he didn't drink it. He just sat, looking around. "My wife and I had our first date here, 1967, he said. Fourth stop, a cemetery. He stood at a grave, talking to it for 30 minutes. "My wife," he said, 3 years today. The fifth and final stop, a hospital. He turned to Marcus and said, "And now I'll tell you why. I have stage 4 cancer. Weeks left, maybe days. Tonight, I wanted to see my whole life one last time." He handed Marcus a $500. "And thank you for driving me through my life. You are the last stranger who will ever be kind to me. And I wanted it to be gentle, and you made it gentle." Marcus refused the money. The old man insisted. And he said, "You can now leave." Marcus but went back to the hospital the next day, and the next, and the day after that. He bought coffee, read the newspaper for him, sat in silence. He held Mr. Patterson's hand when he died on a Tuesday morning at 3:17. 6 people came to his funeral. Marcus spoke. Every stranger is someone's whole world. And kindness to strangers isn't extra, it's everything. And he still keeps the $500 in his glove box. I now want to tell you about another last ride. Monday morning, I drove Father Willie from Northeastern to Bennington. He wanted to visit Father Hugh Clary, his classmate, his brother in the congregation of Holy Cross, a man he loved. And Father Willie looked healthy. He was cheerful. He was fully, completely himself, animated about the visit, and glad to be going back to Bennington, to a place that had shaped him, and also to meet his friend. It was a pleasant drive of 3 hours and 20 minutes to North Bennington. And on the way, of course, he called his friends over the phone. He spoke to his brother. He shared me about the book he read the previous night and told me stories of his novitiate year in Bennington. It was a place I could feel, a place he loved deeply, where he had done his novitiate, where he had served as a pastor for a short while, where his roots in religious life had first taken hold. He had taken me to see the old novitiate himself, proud and nostalgic, like a man showing you the house where he grew up. On the same day, on Monday, Father Willie had a heart attack and died there in Bennington without a word of distress, without a word of complaint, of pain. One moment he was there, the next he was home. And I've been sitting there with that ever since. And I cannot help but notice what God quietly arranged. Father Willie's last journey was to a place he loved. His last intention was to visit a dear friend. His last act of charity was visiting the sick. His last hours were spent in a place saturated with memory, with prayer, with the earliest stirrings of his vocation. And today is Ash Wednesday. And today's gospel from Matthew cuts right through the heart. He says, "Do not let your left hand know what your right is doing." In other words, be real, be whole, be integrated. Be the same person in private that you are in public. And Father Willie Raymond was that person. I can tell you that from first-hand experience. The man you saw in the pulpit was the same man outside in the car, curious, warm, and full of faith, full of laughter. And he had a funny giggle sometimes. But no performance, no pretense. What you saw was what he was, all the way down. And that is what Jesus is asking of us today. The ashes we wear today are an invitation to honesty. You are dust. Stop pretending otherwise. Stop managing your image. And these two men, Father Willie and Marcus, the Uber driver, are asking of us today, what if you lived as though today was the last ride through a place you loved? Not in panic, not in morbid dread, but in full, attentive, grateful awareness that every conversation matters. Every journey is sacred. Every person in your car, in your world, deserves your complete and gentle and honest presence. Father Willie Raymond did not die with regrets scattered behind him like a luggage he never unpacked. He died going toward something, toward a friend, toward a beloved place, toward a life fully lived. And the ashes on our forehead today, they are not the end of the story. They are the beginning of honesty. They say you are finite, and it is an invitation to stop postponing kindness, to stop rehearsing grudges, to let your yes be yes. I want to say thank you to Father Willie for the journey, for the witness, for showing me, for showing us who knew him right up to the very end, what it looks like to live without pretense and to die without fear. And my ride back from Bennington was long, and it was not fun without him. Rest in peace, Father Willie.